Hello to this webinar, SmartMe. So my name is Benny Riedi. I'm a salesman for SmartMe. And the target of this webinar is to give you just a quick and short overview about our platform, about our solution. So energy management in the digital age, that's our vision, or that's our passion that we are working on every day. Just that you can see what we are doing. We do have 3 companies. So SmartMe Inc. is the company which is developing the hard and the software for this cloud-based smart energy service. So we are doing the manufacturing of the meters, the gateways, and so on. And we do also the calibration here in Rotkreuz, Switzerland, central Switzerland. What we have also founded is eCarUp, which is a spin-off company, and this is a back-end solution for charging station for electric cars. And we do have the Smart Red company, which takes care about the German market and also the distribution for the European Union. Yeah. So what we have with SmartMe, so let's start with the presentation. So we do have a lot of different challenges, and our vision was when we started to develop and producing the technologies, like we said the energy must become intelligent, which means we want to have real-time data to control also this data. And the target is that the energy can become intelligent is that we need this real-time data. So we don't need just the 15-min data for billing. Of course, that would be enough just for billing, but we want to control the energy, and for that we want to know how much energy do we produce, and how much is the consumption. And if we produce more energy than the consumption is, then we want to switch on the heat pump, or turn on the heat pump, or whatever you want to do. So improve the self-consumption is what we want to, what is the target. And yeah, for that we need the real-time data. And before we started, we took a look about the existing solutions. And of course, one of the point was that existing solutions are very slow, which means 15-min data, that's okay, but we need real-time data. And of course, a lot of solutions are transparent, so we want to give you more transparency to your consumption, and that you can see what's going on inside of a building or inside of an area. And the same was for the control. So there are a lot of different and good solutions from third parties to control energy, but the most of the technologies are closed, and we want to, or our idea was to develop and produce a new technology which is totally open, that you can combine our data with third-party manufacturers. So what is SmartMe? We are a cloud-based smart energy service. So our partners, they can measure energy from electricity, heat, gas, water, and store it on one platform. So that's the SmartMe cloud. And so you have just one cloud, and there are all the data from multi-energy. So that's one of our main points. And what we are basically do is we have developed and produced the first energy meter with a direct connection to the cloud. So we have here a DIN rail mounted meter, which is of course MID certificated, and so you can use the data for billing. And what is special with this meter is that it's a direct measurement meter with up to 80 amperes, and of course it's bidirectional, so you can measure the consumption, and you can even measure a production with the same meter if you use this meter. And what we have built in this meter is like, we do have some potential free contacts, so that you can control, for example, the heat pump with the same hardware device. So you will not need a second device for that. And so we are focused on that we have the meter, You just need a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi on the area, and then we store the data on the cloud. And the end customer, they have access to this data with the smartphone, tablet, web interface, whatever you want to use, and then you can see all this energy data. We have also produced some module for energy meters, for example, Kamstrup, which is a Danish manufacturer. So you can just plug in our SmartMe Kamstrup module in this smart meter, and then we have the data from this energy meter as well on the same platform. And I have told you that we have multi-energy, which means we can read out data from heat, water, and gas meters as well. For that, we are using, or you can use our MBus gateway. So we don't have own heat meters or water and gas meters. We just read them out with our MBus gateway. So we collect the data and store it on the same platform. So you have now heat, water, gas, and energy like power meters on the same platform. And then here you have the access to this data. And what you can see here is we do have open interfaces, which is one of our main strategy. So we say that we have for example, if then actions where you can control the self-consumption community. But if you want to use, for example, Loxone, which is also more in the smart home applications, they can read out the data by using our API, and then they can do whatever they want with this data, like improve the self-consumption community with this third-party manufacturer. That's one of our main point that we say open interfaces, they are really important to generate new projects and to do what the end customer really want to have on this area. So we say that the usual standard improving of self-consumption, you can do that with our hardware. And if you want to do more, so if you have special requirements, then you can use our open interfaces. Smart energy for our company means that we say we want to measure and measure in real time. I will show you that later in this presentation. And we want to we want to have a visualization and a billing solution as well. And we do have a control with the hardware that we can improve the self-consumption community. And we do the self-consumption. And we do that with one hardware, and that's the SmartMe Telstar meter, for example. And that makes it really interesting for the end customers, because you don't need a sub-metering, for example. You don't need a meter to read out data for billing, and then another hardware solution to control, and another hardware solution for visualization, for example. We can do that with just one hardware. Yeah, that's the strategy of SmartMe. So you can see here the SmartMe Telstar meter, three-phase meter, 80 amperes, MID certificated here. You can see here our MBus gateway that we have, and I told you about the modules, and so on and so on. So we developed and we are developing and producing the hardware, but we also have the software solution, which is the SmartMe Cloud, and it's also fully developed internally. So we have the SmartMe Cloud is developed from SmartMe, and that gives to our partners and customers access to real-time monitoring solutions. You can control the data there. You can have some diagrams and reports. I will show you that later on, and you can generate some alarm functions. And you can here on the cloud create an automatic billing solution, which is our SmartMe billing for energy costs. You can just do that on the cloud. On that presentation, I can show you that we have a lot of different visualizations, for example, that you can see how much energy is produced, but I will show you that later on a real object. In this presentation, which we will send you later on, you will see all the different visualization that we have now. So it would be possible to do that with multi-energy, where you can see, do you have a consumption of cold water? Do you do you have a consumption from the battery, or yeah, what's the production, and so on and so on. One of the newest visualization which we have generated is or released in last summer is this one here. So you can see the production from a self-consumption community. So you will see how much energy, or the production of the energy, and you can see the self-consumption. And as you can see here on this example, is that they control with our potential free contacts from the SmartMe meter the heat pump, so they can turn on and off the heat pump. So as you can see, as soon as we don't have any production, they say, okay, now you should turn off. And so with this technology, you can improve your self-consumption, which is really interesting inside of the self-consumption communities, basically, or especially here in Switzerland, where you can use your own meters from manufacturers, for example, SmartMe. And our solution is also adapted for the German market. There they call it Mieterstrom. And for that we have now a new update for the SmartMe billing, especially for the German market. So we are working also on other areas. Here you can see the energy, the SmartMe billing tool. So you can have here the energy costs about power, heat, and so on. So we can generate, or you can just create this bills per month, per quarter, and whatever you want. But what is also possible is that you can export the data to a real estate software, or for the utility, we can upload the data to an external server that they can create their own bills with the existing software. So we are totally open for that. We can give you a solution like the SmartMe billing, but we are also totally open for third-party solutions on that side. Yes. Same is if you want to control the energy, what we can offer you is like with if then actions. You can say if the production is higher than, or if we spend power into the grid, then please turn on, or whatever you want to do. So you can do a lot of different if then functionalities with our technology, but also with that in that side, you're totally open to read out the data and connect it with other third-party solutions. On that slide, here's eCarUp, our e-mobility backend solution. We do have another webinar also in English and in German for eCarUp, our backend solution. But what is important for control and optimize and improve the self-consumption is that what I said before is that we are open. For example, Loxone, which is a solution for smart home applications. They can read out our energy data and control and do some control functions with the Loxone hardware. So we are totally open to connect that, to connect our data with other manufacturers, which means, for example, here, I don't have translated this slide, but this is one example from a partner from our company, and he said for demonstration for customers that he can change the color. So if you have a green color here, then this house is producing more energy that the production that the consumption is, and he can say we have a red color if we buy power from the grid. So you can give some visualizations not only on the smartphone. You can do that inside of a building, for example, inside of a flat with a small LED lamp, which you can switch on and off with the energy data, so that everybody can see it. Now we have more, we have spare energy. I want to use the local produced energy, and here with this example, these are some possibilities. What about SmartMe, we do have more than 60,000 measurement points in the cloud now. So I think we have now 63,000 measurement points online, and even or also this API. So I told you about this open interfaces, and we do have more than 24,000 API calls per minute, which means a lot of different third-party manufacturers are using our data, and that's one of our strategy, that we say we have open interfaces. And in Switzerland, we do have this self-consumption communities, which is allowed since the beginning of 2018. And with our technology, we think that we have more than 1,500 self-consumption communities in Switzerland with our technology. We don't know it exactly because we don't, SmartMe is not doing any services to the end customers. So our partners are doing that. And of course, it would be nice if you want to get a partner from SmartMe so that you can do this self-consumption communities, or that you can realize this self-consumption communities with our technology. So we don't do any services to the end customer. We are just focused on development and producing of this technology. And of course, we are doing some updates that the technology is state of the art, and we generate new functionalities and so on and so on. But we are not we are not going on to the market and do some some services. So otherwise we would be your competitor, and we don't want to do that. So now I want to show you how it looks like. For that, I have logged in a self-consumption community so that you can see how it looks like. I have now the English version from the cloud. Yes, sorry, not everything is in English, because you can write a name here, for example, for a meter, and if you type it in German, then we will not translate it. But of course, the cloud is also available in English. So now you can see here in this self-consumption community, we can see what is the production, what is the consumption, how much energy do we buy exactly at the moment from the grid, and so on and so on. And you can see we give you a percent where we give you here the solar power number. What is the consumption from the solar production? And yeah, this is just one of our visualization. We do have a lot of different visualizations. I have showed you that before in the presentation. Here you can see, for example, the same object. You can see the production, you can see the grid, you can see that the heater is now working. And if we would have an hot water consumption, then we will see it here, for example. And now you can see here from the self-consumption community, this is like the house. And then you have for each flat inside of this house, like this folder. And inside of this folder, you will have like the meters. And this is, for example, our meter. I will go to another flat. So here you can see the power. And I told you we are measuring in real time. And here you can see it is in real time. So we can see the power. We can see the power on each phase. You can see the counter readings. For example, if you are using our tariff, if you're using the tariff signal from the utility company, then you will see if it's the counter reading on a high tariff or on a low tariff going on. You can see the import and the export. Of course, it's a flat, so they will not have any export because they are not producing energy, so they're just have consumption. You will see the voltages, the current, cosinus phi, and consumption overview about this energy meter. Just that you know it, what we are storing is like every minute all these counter readings here. So all these numbers, we will store all this one here every minute. So we will not store voltages and current, but they are accessible by using our API, but we will not store it because we don't need them for billing purposes. But you can read it out by using our API. For example, if you want to know what is the power from the phase 2 on this meter, it would be possible. Please use our API. We will not store it. We store just the counter readings here, and that we will store every minute fully automatically. So this is the power meter. Of course, I can click on the power, so you will see the load profile. And now I can say I want to see the load profile, for example, from the last days. And of course, if you're online since the beginning of 2020, then you can also select another date, whatever you want, and then you will see all this information here. This one here is the heat meter. So you see the flow temperature, the return temperature, the flow rate, and the power, and of course the counter reading, which you need for billing. And here, this is the heat water consumption. And yeah, now what I can do, for example, is I can select a flat, and I can say I want to have a report, and there are a lot of different reports which you can use. For example, I want to create now a consumption report from the beginning of January till, let's say, yesterday, because we store the data every minute. So I can say now I want to have the consumption report till from the beginning of this year till yesterday. So just with one click, our cloud can generate this consumption report, and you will see here all this information. So this is not the SmartMe billing; it's just the consumption overview. So you see the value old, the value new, the consumption. With our SmartMe billing, you can multiply that with you can just calculate it, and then you will have like a bill for energy cost. The same with electricity. What we also can do for electricity is we can calculate virtual tariffs, which is really interesting because you can now say, I want to see how much PV power or solar power did I consume in the last couple of days. For example, we can give this in, or we can show this information on live. So I see now the consumption of this flat is 4.9 kilowatts, and they get 600 watts from the rooftop and 1.1 kilowatts from the grid. So you can see here solar tariff and high tariff, which is now active. If I click on the last 24 hours, then you will have the information from the last 24 hours, and you can see all this information here. It would be also possible to give you the loads profile with the virtual tariffs. Here you can see low tariff in night, and in the beginning of the day, you will have the high tariff from the utility company. And here you can see the solar power, which we have automatically split to the different flats here inside of this self-consumption community. So what you also can do with our technologies, like what I said, is to improve the self-consumption. So it is really interesting to have a high self-consumption, because you can earn more money if you sell the energy to the other attendees, or if you compare it to if you sell the power into the grid. So here you have the heat pump. You can turn it on and off. It's just one of these possibilities that we have. The heat pumps like the SG Ready connectivity. So you can say, dear heat pump, it would be great if you now turn on, and if we buy power from the grid, then we can say, please turn off. And you can do that with the if-then actions here. So he said here, if the value, so if we spend 4 kilowatts into the grid for minimum 2 minutes, that's the first if selection here. And then they said, and if we have Monday to Sunday from 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock afternoon, then please turn on this heat pump. So you are totally free to do that per flat or per building, so that you can do that with your own with your own dates that you need on this specially object. So you're totally free to configure that. What we can offer to you is like we have like these partner trainings where we can give you an overview about the solution, and then also how you can install it, how you can configure it, and for that we have like these partner trainings, and then you are able to do that in your projects. So it is important to say that we don't do this project business. We are looking for new partners and even international partners, so that it is possible that we can grow more and more. And for that, we can give you support. The good thing with this cloud-based technology is that you have to that you have to connect the device with the cloud, and after that we can support you for the first projects and support you to generate this if then actions and so on and so on. But our main focus is that we can give you all these possibilities that you can do that with your own inside of your own company. We don't want to do that to the end customers. That's really, really important. Yes, that was some of this short presentation. So I just showed you some of these solutions. There are a lot of more, but the main point of this webinar was to give you this overview. And if you need more information, or if you say, if you want to test it and try our technology, so feel free to contact us that we can get in touch with you, and we can talk about doing more projects and generate this self-consumption communities or whatever you want to do. So there are a lot of different solutions. And what we also say is from our company, so we have just started. Of course, there are a lot of functionalities, but it's cloud-based. We are developing new hardware, we are developing new functionalities, and we are growing with our partners. So feel free, if you think that would be an interesting solution for you, please feel free, contact us, and we can discuss that with you directly. Yeah, that was my short presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. And yeah, I would say we get in touch if you have more, if you need more information. Thank you very much, and goodbye.